So the gloves are indeed back off. Donald Trump pointing to this memo sent out by the team Cruz before the caucuses. Ben Carson was, quote, taking time off from the campaign, this memo said, alluding to him possibly getting out of the race altogether, and writing to the surrogates, quote, please inform any Carson caucus goers of this news and urge them to caucus for Cruz. Trump says that was a dirty trick.
He really lies. I mean, I don't like to use that term, but he really lies. And I now know why there's not one U.S. senator that's supporting him. He works with these people, and why everybody considers him to be not a very nice person. What he did to Ben Carson was a disgrace, that he had quit the race. Everyone knew he didn't quit the race, and Cruz knew he didn't quit the race. Then after the election was over, he apologized. A lot of good that does.
So Cruz has since called that memo a mistake and did apologize to Dr. Carson. But he is now responding to Trump, saying the businessman is acting like a child.
It is no surprise that Donald is throwing yet another temper tantrum, or if you like, yet another Trumper tantrum. It seems his reaction to everything is to throw a fit, to engage in insults, and I understand that Donald finds it very hard to lose, that he finds that very difficult for him. But at the end of the day, the Iowa people spoke. Donald Trump guaranteed a victory in Iowa, and then he lost. And he doesn't like that, and his reaction is that he breaks down.
Interesting, right? So away we go to New Hampshire. John Roberts is standing by, and the bells are ringing there in Manchester. So what's the latest on this really hot Cruz-Trump feud right now, John?
Yeah, for whom the bell tolls, and we'll find out on Tuesday night. I mean, Donald Trump is trying to make it look like Ted Cruz stole the election in Iowa and is trying to suggest to people in New Hampshire and the rest of the primary states that he's a sketchy guy who's not playing by the rules. Now, in terms of, remember that voter violation that was sent out? Trump knows that he doesn't have a legal leg to stand on in saying that there's a big investigation and that Ted Cruz stole the election in Iowa and should be nullified or have a new election. But he believes in his mind that by saying it over and over again, he can make it true, at least in the minds of New Hampshire voters, South Carolina voters, Nevada voters. Here's Trump last night on Greta's show talking about that infamous voting violation mailer that the Cruz campaign sent out in Iowa.
The voter violation form, and that's being under serious investigation. But I think they should probably throw him out of Iowa, because I don't think what he did is a disgrace. And it's a disgrace to the electoral process, to be honest with you.
Now, it's true that the Secretary of State's office in Iowa blasted Cruz actually for putting out that voting violation, which he said was misleading, which kind of violated the spirit or misrepresented the spirit of Iowa law. But here's the thing, is that the Secretary of State's office was not running the Iowa caucuses. It's not an official political operation from the state's perspective. It's run by the parties and a lot of volunteers, so there really is no legal recourse. I talked to the Secretary of State's office a few minutes ago. They have not launched any investigation. What it does, though, is it allows Donald Trump to say that Ted Cruz is a sketchy guy, but that allows Cruz to say that every time Donald Trump doesn't get what he wants, Martha, he throws a hissy fit. So we'll see how that plays here in the Granite State.
Yeah, I think those forms are questionable, but as you say, they have been used in the past, and they appear to be, quite on the up and up, as distasteful as some people might find them. John, thank you. Oh, no. Well, I have another question for you, because Hillary Clinton was on the stage last night as well. And she was asked an interesting question about getting paid $675,000 to give a speech. How did that go?
Yeah, it was actually 3 speeches, and those speeches were for Goldman Sachs, and she was pressed on that issue last night, and it really did not play well for Hillary Clinton last evening in that candidates forum for 3 reasons. First of all, $675,000 for 3 hours work. That's more money than the average person in New Hampshire makes in 15 years. Secondly, it seems to put her in a very cozy relationship with the very big Wall Street banks that she says that she is going to rein in. And the way she answered the question was seen as that same glib and dismissive way that she has dealt with other very controversial issues. Watch this.
But did you have to be paid $675,000?
Well, I don't know. That's what they offered. So, every Secretary of State that I know has done that.
But that's usually once they're office and not running for an office again.
Well, I didn't
know. Have known.
To be honest, I wasn't committed to running. I didn't know whether I would or not.
You didn't think you were going to run for president?
$675,000, well, that's what they offered, and I didn't know I was going to run for president, raising a lot of questions in a lot of people's minds as to exactly what her intentions were, and has given Bernie Sanders more ammunition, Martha, because he has been going after her hard here in New Hampshire, where he leads her by big margins, saying she's not a progressive. A progressive does not take $15 million from Wall Street banks for their campaign. Martha?
Hillary Clinton's quite serious about trying to turn that around and narrow that margin in the coming days, and she started that campaign part of all this last night. John, good stuff. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.